What's going on, everybody in the VC? Craig here with a thread response to Robert Z and his thread concerning basically multiple formats, if you keep, multiple copies of different albums, stuff like that. So, dude, I had to jump in on this one. Anybody who follows my channel or happened to see my room tour update, you know full well I collect multiple formats between vinyl, CD, cassette, 8-track. And with collecting all those, you know full well you're going to be getting multiple, you're going to have multiple versions of albums. And there's a lot. I mean, if I did every single one that I have, on vinyl, CD, cassette, or CD, cassette, 8-track, or, all the different combinations, there's a lot that I have at least three different formats of. So I tried to basically take Travis's, advice and just do 4 or more. And so I picked out kind of the cream of the crop, the ones that I'm really close to and albums that I love the most. I have a lot that I have 4 or more of. I could have went on forever on this one, but decided to kind of narrow it down. So, first things first, VC cheer. Hope everybody's doing well, as always. What's playing in the background? In Memoriam, Best of the Doors. Rest in peace, Ray Manzarek. Very, very sad. But we'll leave that for another time when we talk about the Doors. So, let's get right into this. First one up. An album very near and dear to my heart that I've been a huge fan of since I was probably about 7, 8 years old when I first heard it. Paradise Theater by Styx. So here we have the vinyl. Let's see where I organized everything. CD. Cassette. And of course, 8-track. Love this album. This album is sick from top to bottom. Yeah, there's a lot of songs that kind of get played a lot between Too Much Time in My Hands or Best of Times. You hear those a lot on classic rock radio, but I mean, this is songs that aren't played a lot. Nothing Ever Goes as Planned. Snowblind, that is one of my all-time favorite Styx songs. Definitely one of my favorites between my dad and I, because we're both huge Styx fans. Lonely People, Half Penny, Two Penny. I love that song. So, that's Styx. Next one up. Now this band, I should say, I loved the hits growing up, but I never really got into the albums. My dad had the first 3, the ones that matter the most, and never really bothered to listen to them all that much. And then about summer 2007, we actually got tickets to go and see them, all 4 original members and everything. And we're really excited about it, so I started listening to the first album, and really digging into it. It just consumed me to the point where I'm like obsessive over this. And as it turns out, this kind of has a lineage in my family. My dad, was big into it when it came out in '82. My uncle, my mom's youngest brother, he's went through multiple copies in multiple formats. I think he said he had like 3 copies on cassette in the '80s that he blew through, a couple copies on CD, maybe 1 or 2 on vinyl. It's one of his favorite albums of all time. And I got the honor of getting to meet him after the show when I saw him. And I mean, I was literally like right up front. I just didn't have to fight my way to the front or anything. Just right there. House of Blues in Chicago is where we saw him. So if anybody's been to a venue, that venue or venues like that, you know full well. You go to see most shows there, you can get right up front. If it's a heavy show, you're going to be sandwiched, but if it's a show like this, you're going to get to have a really comfortable experience and get to watch everything and listen. Oh yeah. So, Asia, self-titled, from 1982. Yeah. And I don't think I showed it in my room tour, but right directly behind me, well, behind you, diagonal from me, is actually a poster of this album cover. signed by all 4 original members, so John Wenton, Jeff Downs, Steve Howe, and Carl Palmer. Yeah, great dudes to meet, by the way. So very, very gracious, very good, and still in top form. So let's see here. Vinyl, CD, of course, cassette, and 8-track. Now this one, I've never seen this on 8-track before, and I know this is a Columbia House pressing. Ended up buying it off of eBay about 2 months ago, something like that. I think I paid like $10-12 for it, but I mean it's like brand new, so I couldn't pass it up. You just never see it. All right, next one. I'm a huge fan of this band. If anybody, you watch my channel, you know full well I love these guys. This album, I'll give a quick backstory because I have to ramble. It's what I do. The first album I ever heard by these guys, you know what? I'll show the album and then we'll kind of talk a little bit more. So this is Kiss Destroyer. The first album I actually ever heard by these guys was Unmasked. I know, fucking weird intro to Kiss, but I bought the album on cassette as a blind buy when I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. No, I think it was 8, yeah. And it was kind of like, okay, it's subpar. Not too much longer after that, I bought Destroyer on cassette. And loved it. Played the first side, it was like, holy shit, these guys are amazing. Alright, start side 2, my Walkman eats the tape. I was pissed. Because side 2 is my favorite side. And I had never even heard it yet. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck? So my dad, being the cool guy that he was, took it back for me and spent the extra like $5-6 to buy it on CD, which I'll show real quick. My original CD copy that I've had since I was 8 years old. Kiss Destroyer. One of my first ever CDs. I think it was one of the first like 10 CDs I ever had. So, now back to the multiple formats that I have here. This first one was VCLT to me. It's a later Casablanca pressing. And I have my other copy, which is a dark blue Casablanca label. So it's a CD, set, and 8-track. Now this I actually rebuy along at the same time with the Asia 8-track because we had a splice break and it just got messy and yeah. So bought this beautiful copy. I think it was, I got it for really, really cheap. So it wasn't like I had to go out of my way to get it or anything. So very cool. So Kiss Destroyer. Next one up. Oh man, I love this band. I love this album. Why not have it on multiple formats? Rush, Moving Pictures. What needs to be said about this? Not much, because it's a fucking amazing album and we all know it. So, CD, Rush Remasters, cassette, and of course, 8-track. Oh yeah. Probably one of my best finds of a 2013 Goodwill pickup. I think I ended up getting it for $0.25. They mispriced it. Usually the 8-tracks are the same as cassettes and they sell them for 75 cents a piece, but they mismarked them, rang me up for $0.25, so score. Alright, next album up. I'm a huge, huge fan of this album. I got introduced to it my senior year of high school by a friend of mine who's also a drummer and was really into fusion and different stuff and was really dabbling into some older drummers and stuff like that. Just got me obsessed with this album to the point where I think that I listened to that album at least a good 100 to 200 times just in like probably about a 4 or 5 month span of senior year. So from probably like November to like maybe mid-April, something like that, when I finally just kind of had to get off the kick for a little while, and it's still one of my favorite albums of all time. So actually. So, vinyl. This is an original domestic pressing. Then we have another copy on vinyl here. This is the Canadian pressing. Got this courtesy of Dr. Deadwax last year. Let's see. CD. This is actually my second copy on CD. First one I had, I just blew right through it. Yeah, I know. CDs are supposed to be indestructible. Bullshit. And of course on cassette. So, 4 copies. Can't go wrong. So, last one. This album, one of my favorites of all time, my favorite by this artist. My dad and I both agree. We've had hour and hour long discussions about how great this album is, and how he hasn't done anything this good since. Yeah, he's had some really good albums and some really good songs since this, obviously. I mean, he's had a career, just a very lengthy career, but nothing tops this album. And LJ, my big brother, will agree with me. We discussed this album too and how much we love it. So, that'd be John Cougar Mellencamp, Scarecrow. Vinyl copy. Still in the shrink. Beautiful, beautiful shade. Let's see. CD. Now, I do not have it on 8-track, but I do have it on cassette. Multiple copies on cassette. Alright, so we'll start with my, this is an RCA. Yep, RCA Music Service. Copy on cassette. And then we have the Mercury Polygram cassette. Cassette here. Just that. In the Polygram tan case. And we have another same cassette and everything. Mercury Polygram, but in a black case. And then we have a later pressing clear cassette. Now, both of the Mercury ones and the clear cassette I actually bought the same weekend, I think within a day of each other. The 2 Mercury ones I bought at the same Goodwill at the same time, and then the clear cassette was the next day. So 3 in a weekend. It was amazing. That one was just not popping up on cassette forever. LJ had me on the hunt last summer to find a copy on cassette, and I think it took us months before he ended up finally finding a copy, and then they just started popping out of the woodwork. He found one, then another one, then another one, then another one. I think he's up to either 4 or 5, maybe more, I'm not for sure. I lost count. But we decided to start a Scarecrow fan club. So he's president, I'm senior VP, just because the amount of fucking cassettes. The RCA one I think I bought back in 2011. So 4 copies on cassette, 1 on CD, 1 on vinyl. That's the only album I have that many cassette copies of it. There's a few that I have dupes of, but not many. Not too many. I don't keep too many duplicates. If I have 1 copy that plays perfect, I'll keep that. Usually the one that's, you know, depending on condition, I'll either VCLT it or I'll just kind of, it goes in the pile of, you know, hopefully I can use the case or something. So, that does it for my thread response. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you, Robert Z, for coming up with a great, great thread. Love it. Had to jump in on it. I could have probably done a 3-hour video on just, you know, stuff that I had 4 copies of or 3 copies of. Fucking ridiculous. Just gave me a chance to kind of dig through the collection. So, thank you for watching. I will be back with a vinyl update. Possible vinyl update, more leaning towards doing some VCLT thank yous and showing some stuff off because I got some really, really killer shit in the last few weeks. So, take care and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.